Wait, before you scroll, this is going to be my spoiler review of episode 4 of It, Welcome to Derry, and we're going to break this shit down, so stick around for important information that might be important for the next few episodes. Let's get into this shit, shall we? The next morning after their bump in the graveyard, the kids show their photographs of Ghost and Pennywise to Chief Bowers, played by Peter Outerbridge. But instead of credit for their work, they get nothing but rolling eyes, curiosity over bird shit, skepticism, and threats to send Lily, played by Clara Stack, back to the nut house. It's never been a better time to bring up once more that the dark undercurrents of It, Welcome to Derry are its reminders of the cruelty everyday people had towards those with mental illness. Lily's story is symbolic of what young people in particular had to endure and still endure, no matter how predominant therapy speak has become in daily speech. With no other choice but to come up with another plan, the kids spend their gym class brainstorming their next move. This includes yet another mention of Shawshank, another famous corner of Stephen King's shared universe. Desperate, Lily consults a confidant from Juniper Hill, Ingrid, played by Madeline Stowe, in which she is the only sympathetic and understanding adult in Lily's life. Although Ingrid can't totally sign off on Lily's encounters with ghosts, she still voices her support, telling her to rely on her friends. How sweet, but sorry Lily and friends, it just doesn't seem like your shining and friendships are strong enough to defeat Pennywise. Because if you didn't know, in the Stephen King universe that is connected by the Dark Tower, every main character has the ability of the Shining to take down any evil force that may be hunting them down. In Cujo, it was the little boy. In the It franchise, it is the children, and in this case, Dick Halloran, who also has it on The Shining, and of course young Danny in The Shining as well. But it seems like the Losers Club's friendship was much more stronger in the movies than the friendships here, and also the space turtle Maturin is also keeping them safe because of it. In this show, the turtle seems to be calling for them to come closer, but it just seems like they keep taking everything way too personal rather than working together against a common foe. Later, the Marge subplot intensifies as Marge and the Patty Cakes have chefed up a whole plan to prank Lily in front of the whole school. Why? Because kids are little shits, that's why. The specifics of their plan beyond dangling a handsome football jock in front of her aren't clear, because in the bathroom during lunch, Marge, still grossed out from an educational video about parasites and worms from science class, is utterly, to put it in light terms, fucked up by Pennywise. Pennywise, he who preys on fear and self-doubt, turns Marge's eyes into protruding rubber balloons filled with pus and blood. Holy fucking shit, Pennywise turned this girl into Chef Bones, popping her eyes out like that. Doesn't anybody listen to Never Try This Shit at Home? Jesus, man. Or Jesus Baby. I'll get to that in a second here. Putting it in terms you may understand, it is the gnarliest body horror shit I've seen on TV in a long time, maybe ever, especially it being a literal child. It's a scene that just feels evil and cruel, which is on point for Pennywise. In an interview from 2017 on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Bill Skarsgård did mention that Pennywise hates children. It's not that I didn't believe him, but I didn't really understand how the demon clown's fear-mongering came from a place of hatred. Now that I've seen him torture a little girl in a way not even David Cronenberg has ever imagined, yeah, now I see it. You're one sick son of a bitch, Pennywise. But right on, that shit was gnarly. But don't worry, it isn't over, however. As the rest of the school suddenly show up, they are left speechless at the sight of Lily, already known as a basket case. Shout out to Green Day. With sharp instruments in her hand and sitting atop Margie the Pirate's bloody body, and yes, that's the name I will be calling her from now on. Well, one thing is for certain, the kids' plan to keep investigating the ghosts that haunt Derry is over, at least for the time being. Moving along from the central story involving the kids, Will, played by Blake James Cameron, is slowly getting his parents involved in the madness. When his mom discovers the photographs in his room, Will confesses to trying to help Ronnie, played by Amanda Christine, clear her father's name. While Will is certain there's a supernatural entity causing Derry's madness, Charlotte has her feet planted to earth. She's more interested in the racially motivated injustice of jailing an innocent black man of child murder than Will seeing ghosts. Come on, Charlotte, the kid's a Kanye fan, you wouldn't understand. Charlotte does indeed piss off Derry's PD's officers to the expense of her husband, who wants her to keep a low profile. But after talking with Hank, played by Steven Ryder, and learning that he spent the night with the white married woman, Charlotte realizes she's unearthed far deeper trouble than she knew. Thankfully, she has a new friend in Rose Kimberly, played by Rose Guerrero. Though Charlotte partially misinterprets Rose's advice to keep her loved ones close in Derry, she's a step closer to learning from a valid source that her son's claims of ghosts and haunts isn't an overactive imagination, but something far more sinister. No, not Bagul, but the Galoo, you silly little gooses. On the topic of Will, a fishing trip with his father, played by Giovanna Depo, an attempt to bond with his son brings Will literally face to face with Pennywise, who takes on the form of Leroy, dead and burned from a plane crash that hasn't happened. Motherfucking Pennywise changes up his line from "Yo float to" to "Yo burn to," foreshadowing Will's death in a fire. That's fucked up, Pennywise. Will's marks from the encounter compels Leroy to speak with Dick, played by Chris Chalk. Though the Major and Dick still aren't the best of friends, Leroy opens up to Dick about what his son told him. There's something bad in there, he states. Halloran, what the hell are we actually looking for? Dick admits he still doesn't know, even with his shining powers. During another bad night, Will tells Leroy that he saw something watching him, but Leroy only finds a red balloon. He storms into the office of the General, played by James Remar, to get answers that Dick couldn't give him. Because the General is a show don't tell kind of a guy, he lets Leroy sit in on a psychic interrogation between Dick and Taniel, played by Joshua Ojic, where Dick probes Taniel's ancestral memories alien style, fucking his mind literally and mentally, because like what the fuck was that creepy ass smile? I'd be frightened to ever turn off the lights again. The episode shows details from Pennywise's arrival on Earth. From where exactly that is still not clear to his evolution as a native legend, as well as the bloodshed tribes suffered to contain him. When white religious Europeans arrive in the New World, they naturally make a mess, and the evil of Pennywise's begins to seep out of his invisible prison. Though the natives keep guard of the woods, Pennywise's evil has grown strong enough to manifest beyond it. Pennywise even takes the form of another person, this time the main religious settler, and attacks one of the important tribe members, claiming for her to get ready to see God. This is before gee fucking willikers, Batman. Baby Jesus, as mentioned earlier, came out of nowhere from the man's tummy like a motherfucking Mortal Kombat fatality. Like, what the fuck was that? Is that you, Ferrator, from MKX? To the much expected delight of Dick, Taniel submits one last nugget of information: where Pennywise is located. As the two step into the blinding white lights of conscious memory, the show amazingly reveals the familiar Neighbolt house, also the Well house, the depths of which Pennywise calls home. We will just have to wait and see what goes down in the Neighbolt house in episode 5. But with all the crazy, wacky shit that went down in this episode, I want to hear your thoughts and opinions down below. What was your favorite part of the episode? Do you think we will see Pennywise make an appearance next episode? Other than that, I love you guys. All glory goes to Jesus Christ, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.